Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am NL, and in today's video I'll be going through the embryology of Islam. So it took me forever to make this video, so apologies for that, but let's get started. We'll watch this video first.
This is from Surah Al-Tariq 6. He is created from a drop emitted. This Arabic term refers...
Okay, so 86 verse 5 and 6. So let's have a look at that. So this is the Surah 86. So verse number 5 and 6, he says, let the people then consider what they were created from. They were created from a sprouting fluid steaming from between the backbone and the rib cage. He's talking about sperm. So this theory is already long, but let's see what this scientist has more to offer.
Refers to the forceful emission of fluids, which occurs during ejaculation in the male and ovulation in the female. The male secretions, called semen, contain the spermatozoa, and the female secretions, called follicular fluid, contain the ovum. This is the stage of fertilization and the nutfa, and after this is what we call the zygote, referred to in the Quran as the nutfa, and the nutfa undergoes division, which we call cleavage.
So he saying like he adds a lot of scientific mumbo jumbo to try to cover up, but we know that the sperm is not made in the rib cage. Let's continue.
As it passes down the uterine tube. So these are the stages of the nutfa here as it undergoes cell division. This term is used several times in the Quran in referring to the beginning of development. After examining all these references, it is concluded that nutfa refers to the small drop of fluid containing the sperm and the ovum. The term nutfa is also used to refer to the dividing zygote as it undergoes cleavage, cell division, and passes along the uterine tube to enter the uterus. This surah says, then he made his progeny from a quintessence of the nature of fluid despised. Sulala, an Arabic term, refers to the gentle extraction of the germ or sex cells from the millions that are produced.
Okay, let's go back to that source. So he said, Surah 23, verse... Okay, so from verse 12, let's see. And it says, and indeed we originated man from extraction of clay. So where does the clay come from? This is, already we can dismiss this. And then there is like, okay, look at the Arabic. How many lines it is? And look at how they're trying to explain it. Trying to add as much information as they can. The calcium and sulfur and potassium. Okay, then we say, then we placed him in a sperm drop zygote and placed it in a secure place. Yeah, and then in the brackets they try to teach, I'm not gonna say it, but anyway, then we made zygote, hanging mass. Okay, the leech is also inside the brackets, and they're just like, oh, it's like a leech, and this guy makes a big deal out of that leech theory. Let's continue what he has to say about it.
There are 300 to 500 million sperms in the ejaculate of a healthy young male. Only one of these is extracted from the semen to fertilize the ovum. This shows a photograph of the millions of sperm when they are ejaculated, and only one of the several million sperms is drawn out, which is what is suggested by the word sulala. And the same in the case of the ovary. Only one ovum reaches maturity and is expelled from the ovary, and it is extracted from the many thousands that are available in the ovary. Again, the idea of extraction or sulala. Next stage is Amshaj. Amshaj, Surah there too, verily we created man from a mixture of a germinal drop. Amshaj, then, as an Arabic term, is used in the Quran to describe the mixing of the sperms and the ovum. During fertilization, the ovum rotates within the fluid containing the sperms until one of them is successful in penetrating its covering layers, which we call the corona radiata and the zone of pollution, which is this layer here. I'll read it again in English. It's Surah Abasa 19. He created a new individual from nutfa and immediately planned and programmed him. That was the first one we had. So al-kalb then is an Arabic term which means coming into being, and is used when referring to the fertilized ovum or zygote. Here you can see the nuclei from the sperm and the ovum uniting to form a new cell, which is the zygote or nutfa, and then here's the zygote or nutfa again. It's just getting ready to divide into two cells, which we call the dividing zygote or the dividing nutfa. Next stage, al-takdir, which is the same verse that was just repeated. This Arabic term means the determination of characters. It appears to refer to the fact that from the beginning, the zygote or nutfa contains genetic factors in the chromosome, contain the genes, which determine the color of a future person's eyes, hair, and skin, and all its other characteristics, such as the appearance of the face and the body. Al-Harth, Surah Al-Bagara, ayah 223, your wives are as a tilt unto you. This Arabic term refers to the plowing of the earth and the sowing of the seed in it. This term is used in reference to sexual intercourse, plowing, and implantation of the blastocyst, sowing of the seed. This analogy is...
Okay, this analogy, plowing and sowing the seed and everything, like anybody who's walking on the street would know this. What's the big deal out of it? He's just trying to take anything just to prove his point, which are completely wrong. Now let's go back to that surah. So he developed the mass hanging lump chewed teeth. Out of this chewed lump we build a structure of bones, which we clothe with flesh, and then hanging into another form which developed gradually into the new creation. And then Allah, the best of the creator, brought him up into a strong body. Then certainly after this life you shall die. Now let's look at the other theory in here. So this is the development cycle of a baby. And it's like, okay, your baby heart and circulatory system is formed in the middle layer, and then the layer of cells will be served, forming the body, bones, ligament, kidney, reproductive system, and the inner layer of cells, which your baby, lungs, and intestine will develop. Okay, as you can see with the science, it's saying that the bones, so the skin is already there, and then the bones and the kidneys and everything else is developing. So everything is developing together at the same time. It's like tiny, then they grow. The cells just multiply. But what there it says that so the whole theory, let me just unpack everything for you. It says the sperm enters the woman, and then it turns into this bleached mass, and then that turns into flesh, and then flesh is clothed and turns into bones, and then the bones are clothed with the skin. But we can see with the scientific theory that everything is developed together. One other thing that kills me the most is, like, imagine a human being, okay, a guy who is illiterate, lives somewhere in some village somewhere in the world, and he never went to school, but he's a very good farmer, he makes good money, and when he comes of age, he marries a woman, and he knows that he has sperm. As a man, you know that you have sperm, and then his wife has period, and when the period stops, then the baby is formed. So even if he never went to school and he doesn't know, he would think like, okay, that sperm have done something, that the blood have stopped, and then the baby is formed. So that's what he would think, like flesh and become bones, and then the baby, and then it will come out. So it's all like vague idea that anybody could come up with, and scientifically it's not even accurate. So if you tell me just because of that this book is from God, I mean, are you serious? Are you really serious about it? Why would you say such a thing? And this guy, if you can add the link of it in the description, you can watch the full video. He's trying his best to prove it otherwise. Why? Because he was paid a lot of money to come up with this mumbo jumbo. But all of this, like, it's all 3-4 lines that he's using. So the sperm becomes blood, and blood becomes flesh, and then flesh forms the human and all that. And also, did you see the sperm coming from the ribs? He completely ignored that part. They don't even let you read the whole surahs. That's why I was putting it in the screen so you can read it yourself. And the problem with a lot of Muslims are that they are busy with their rituals. They're busy doing the rituals, and they're encouraged to just read it in Arabic, just to keep them in ignorance. Because the day you start reading it in your language, you will start questioning it. And when you start questioning the faith, it doesn't stand a chance. So with this vague theory that they come up with, and Muhammad had, like, at one time he had 9 wives in total. I'm not even sure how many wives in total he had in his lifetime. So of course he knew women have period and he has sperm, and they from a child, when woman stops bleeding, she gets pregnant. I mean, this is like, anybody can tell you, this is like really common knowledge. And just to pick and choose those verses and make it like a big deal out of it, and this scientific guy, and it's still people are making such a big deal out of this scientist Keith on the 1980s or something, that he came up with his theory. It's completely wrong. So I am not against Muslims, please know this. My whole family is Muslim, and I'm just trying to bring them to the truth. And you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, if this doesn't prove it's book of God, then what about you? How are you going to prove Bible is word of God? Because Bible have predicted 2,500 stuff, and they all came true. When Jesus said to his disciples that Son of Man would be punished, he will be put to death, his disciples didn't even understand what he's on about. Like, what? Who is he talking about? What's going to happen? They couldn't understand it. But then it happened in front of their eyes, and I was like, oh my God, he was talking about himself. Someone who can tell me what's going to happen in the future, and it does happen. And then the other 200 prediction of his second coming that we're all waiting for. So that proves that it is word of God. And there is a lot more things that the Bible have told us about historically, and those things, those places, those people, they all came true. And it's an amazing book. There is so many things that proves Bible. I can't even go into details for that. But if you choose this logic to prove that this is book of God, I'm sorry, it doesn't stand a chance. And I urge every Muslim, please, for God's sake, read it. Don't follow it blindly. Please don't. It's the matter of your life and death. It's like eternity. It's the matter of eternity. Please pay attention. Please read your Quran. Read it, understand it, and then make your judgment. You live in the world of internet. There is no excuse. And the thing that kills me the most is, like, always I think about Jesus. He was young, handsome. He was a carpenter. He could have had a wife and children and had a good life, but he sacrificed his life. He spent all his life preaching and healing people, his whole life, and then he sacrificed his body. He went through all that torture for us, and for us to just dismiss him completely and not to know him, it's a shame not to know Jesus and die. So please get to know him. He's not just a prophet. I think this is the biggest lie the devil have told. Anyway, I'm getting emotional again, like always. But I hope this video was helpful. And God bless you all. Take care.